Hi there, this is Patricia from patriciafenty.com, and today I have a tutorial on how to crochet this snowflake pattern here. I'm doing a series of crocheted snowflakes. All three of these, I'll put a link to them below, and today we're doing this pattern. Now, these patterns are all suited for someone with a little bit of crochet experience, mostly because working with the fine cotton yarn is a little bit tricky, but for this particular snowflake, all you need to know is a chain stitch and a single crochet. I do have a beginner crochet series that shows you how to do these stitches. So next we'll talk about supplies. Now for this project, what you will need is a number 3 cotton thread. I'm using a cream color. You could use any color you like. You could also use the number 10 cotton thread, but you'd have to use a smaller crochet hook for that. For this one, I'm using a 2.5 millimeter or a B1 crochet hook. You'll need a darning needle and some scissors. We are going to be starching this as well, so I will give you a link to that later on. So even though this is the largest snowflake, it is actually the easiest one to make. So start by creating a slip knot and put that onto your hook, keeping your tail to the right, and you'll start with a chain 7. Five, 6, and 7. Then you'll create a ring by doing a slip stitch into the top loop of your first chain, just like that, and that creates a ring. Now you will chain 14. So I'll just fast forward here, and that's 13 and 14. And then you'll count back 7 chains from your hook, 7, and going into the 7th chain, going into the 2 loops. There's sort of the side loops there, the top and the side, and you'll do a slip stitch and to create a ring. Then you'll chain 7, six and 7, and then you'll come down into your ring, making sure to keep all your work facing up. You don't want to twist this at all. And then come down into your ring and do a single crochet. Just like that. And push that single crochet over. And you'll repeat that again. So chain 14. That's 13 and 14. And then counting back 7 chains from your hook. 7. You'll slip stitch into the 7th chain from your hook, picking up 2 loops and do a slip stitch to create the next ring, and then chain 7, and that's 7. And then again, making sure that your work doesn't twist. You want to keep your V stitches facing up, and coming down into your ring, you'll do a single crochet. And you can just squish that over to the side. And so you'll repeat that 6 more times. So you'll have a total of 8 of these. So go ahead and do that. All right, so coming to the end of row 1, and I've done my 8th repeat. I've just done my last chain 7. And we'll just finish this off by doing a single crochet into the ring. And then we're actually going to fasten off for this round, because we're going to start round 2 up into one of these loops here. So we're just going to finish this round and do a slip stitch into the very base of that stitch there. Bring your yarn in behind, and just like that. And then cut yourself a little tail and fasten off and snug that up. Now this is going to look a little bit like an octopus. But what you want to do then is just darn in your tail ends just so they're out of the way. And before you do that, just sort of shape your petals here, flakes, whatever you call them, making sure that the ring is, that they're evenly spaced in the ring. So just sort of shape that and then darn in your tail ends. Welcome back. So I've darned in my tail ends, and so you want to work into the front of your work, and the way you can tell that is that the V stitches of the chain will be facing up, whereas the back, you'll have that back bump, the loop at the back of the stitch facing up. So this is the front of your work here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip knot and put that on your hook with your tail to the right, and starting into any loop at the top of the snowflake, just put your hook into the front of the loop, and we're going to join on with a single crochet. So just grab your yarn from behind and bring that through, flip your tail over. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and that's your single crochet. Come on, there we go. So that's joining on with a single crochet, and you can kind of pull that over to the right side of the circle. So chain 3 and then do a single crochet into that loop and chain 3 and kind of push your work over to the right. There we go. And do a single crochet into the loop. And you're going to repeat that 3 more times. So you have a total of 5 little clusters into that chain 7 loop. And you're finishing off with a single crochet, then you'll chain 5. And then you'll go over to your next chain 7 loop, and working into that loop, you'll join on with a single crochet. And then you're going to work the same pattern, so chain 3, push your work over to the right and do a single crochet. So you're going to work those 5 little clusters into the top of each chain 7 loop and do a chain 5 in between, and you'll repeat that all the way around. Welcome back. So coming to the end of row 2, I've just finished my last little cluster here. So just do a chain 5 and then join this round, making sure to have the right side up. Join by going into that single crochet, that first single crochet that you joined on with, going under both loops, just join with a slip stitch. There we go. And then you want to leave yourself a reasonable tail, because we're going to make a little hangy loop with that. So you can just pull that out and snug that up. So again, you're going to want to fuss with this, and if you have a hand steamer, that's great. You can pre-shape it, making sure that all your little petals here are centered in your chain 7 loop, making sure they're evenly spaced. So you just sort of want to fiddle and fuss with it and make them all nice and even. So you can either just do that by hand or you can use the hand steamer. I'm just going to hand steam it and I'll come back and show you how to make the loop. All right, so I've just fussed with this a bit and gave it a little hand steam. And now we're going to create a little loop. This is a little bit different from my other tutorials in that we want to work our way up to this top petal here to create the loop. So just flip the work over, and of course you want to darn in that tail end. And so you're going to work your way up the back of the work to the top of this. I'm calling them flowers. I don't know, what do you call the top of a snowflake? Petal. I don't know. But anyways, work your way to the top there so that you're in the center of one of those petals. And you'll create your loop at the top. So you want to make sure that your thread isn't twisted, because this thread can twist quite easily. So I'm just going to come back down through the back here, picking up a couple of stitches here and pull that through. And then you can make this loop whatever length you like, and you can see if it's twisted a bit. You can just spin it until the thread is nice and straight. And see, that's wanting to twist a little bit. So I'll just give it a little spin, and that was the wrong way, so made it worse. So I'll spin it the other way. There we go. That's better. So that's laying nice and flat. So then I'm just going to do another stitch coming down in the same direction with another little stitch to secure that loop, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and darn in my tail ends. And then next we're going to starch this. Welcome back. So I'm starching all my snowflakes at the same time. So I'll just show you how to set the large snowflake up. If you haven't seen the first two, I'll show you how to do the large one. So see the description box below for a link to the sugar starch recipe below. And this is a foam board that I put a placemat on top of. You could use cardboard or a couple of layers of towel. Anything that you can put pins into would be fine. So before you starch your snowflake, you do want to make sure that it's shaped as best as possible before you actually dip it in the starch. So I've done that with this one, and I did it with these ones as well. So now this is ready to just put into the starching solution. And this is very sticky. And just squeeze out any excess liquid. And then you just lay it on your board here. And you need to clean your fingers because it's very sticky. And I'll just put this out of the way here. And then you just want to lay the snowflake out and put your little loop up straight there. And lay it out symmetrically and as evenly as possible. And you just sort of want to fuss with it and shape the little clusters at the top and even it out. And then take your pins and start to place them opposite of each other. And again, making it nice and even. It's a little bit fussy. You just have to fiddle and fuss with it. And there we go. And then you just want to let that dry completely, and I'll come back and show you how it looks. All right, here we go. So this snowflake is all done. I let it set overnight to dry, and I have the 3 different snowflake patterns here, and I have links for these below. And I think of all of them, I think I like this one the best, and it was actually the easiest to make. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more creative and inspiring videos. Thank you for joining me.